Okay, hello Instagram. I nearly said TikTok because I was just live on TikTok there a second ago, and I do this very often. But I am here to talk today about how we can use these to help improve our balance as a horse rider. So, as a horse rider, balance is really important. Hey Mia. And we know that because I think if you've had a horse careering off on you, your balance becomes very important because they're bucking and you're holding on for dear life. If you can sit back, you'll be able to stay on. Now, these I think are in a lot of households, and if not, these fitballs, they're very, very cheap and easy to acquire, and they're really good if you want to practice some exercises for balance when you're home. Like, you don't even have to go join a gym to do it. So this is why I thought we should bring this in and show you a few of the things we can do. So first off, I'm going to sit on the ball, okay? Now, this is an exercise I used to teach in football classes, and I swear to God, it really tests you. So first thing we want to do is we want to make sure we're sitting on the ball. We have a 90-degree angle at our knees, our shoulders are back, and our core is tight, okay? Now, from there, lift one leg and alternate. Now, you can do this on the chair as well, and it'll work your hip flexors, but this one, when you do this, you have to balance. It'd be very, very, very difficult to do so. Now, I know in any course, when you're horse riding, you're not going to end up in this situation with doing it. However, if you can keep yourself balanced, it's going to help your seat now when you're moving. If we move back to forward like that underneath, okay? What happens to our balance a lot of the time is we're actually not tucked underneath like this. Our bum is actually slightly forward like this. I know we're around the horse, so okay, just for instance, this is probably not even as wide as my horse, but you know, if you're sitting like this, okay, you're putting yourself now at an angle. So say your horse takes off and it's going to pull you forward more. Now if that horse bucks, you're kind of dangerous position. Whereas what we need to do is focus on learning how to tuck our hips underneath, hold on to the legs. So now you get pulled forward, but you're actually in a better position starting, not being pulled forward as well. Then you can sit back and pull your shoulder blades back. This is another thing that we struggle with a little bit as horse riders, not in general, but everyone. These muscles are very underdeveloped on everybody, okay? So what you do is, what happens is when we're pulling with our arms, we're not engaging. So if you can actually pull your shoulders back and pull back with your back muscles, these are really large muscles, you're going to have a better chance of surviving. I know I'm being dramatic, but we know it's happened before. You have your fitball ready to go. So anything you practice, you can generally do these on a chair, but I think fitballs are great because, like, you can even like practice by taking your feet off. See the way I'm holding there? I've actually taken my feet off the ground ever so slightly. I'm holding. Depending on your core, you can say side side. So it's actually really hard to balance on these when you are doing, or when you take your feet off. So that's why I'm suggesting we starting 1 foot forward, getting into that nice position with your core engaged. So imagine you're pulling your belly button right in. We lift, and we lift, and we lift. And the aim is to not go too far. And like, then you can extend it to like lifting up higher. See the way I'm going a little bit further now? One of the great things to do to help you work on your balance with stuff like this is pick a point on the wall in front of you, lift up as high as you can, and lower. Again, you can put your hands out as well, stuff like this, to help you keep balanced, but as you get better, try and bring them in. And I'm really glad I was able to do that without falling off the ball, because I haven't taught that in about 2.5, 3 years. So another thing you can do as well for extra balance when you're starting these, if you can't keep yourself still, is literally put yourself up against something. So if this is up against a wall or somewhere sturdy, as you practice, it'll get easier. So it won't be able to go anywhere, but you'll still have the wobbly effect, if that makes sense. That's good. It's normal to struggle with these, but we're really pulling these in. So we're really focused on getting that. Like, you want to, the best way of saying when your abs, with your abs, trying to get them to help your balance, is you're not sucking them in. So you're not sucking in, but imagine you're bracing for someone to punch you. So if I hit you, it'd actually be kind of solid, as opposed to you're sucking in. The muscles aren't engaged, so if they're solid, you have a much better base for when you go to do this. So nice hold. There's loads of things we can do with these. Like if you want to make a plank difficult, it's a really good one. Like, I know if the planks are easy, but there is ways where you can actually put yourself up on the ball like this, and again you're going to move more while you're holding, and the aim is to keep breathing and hold it, 30 seconds if you can. If you can't, don't worry. Again, this can be put up against the wall, so it's not moving as much, but it's intensifying that balance need. And once you get better at like grabbing into their struggling, once you get better at holding your core, it'll make you easier to sit up, and then we can work on other things. Like the hip tilt is a really big one, and you can work this while on the ball as well. It's gonna look like I'm humping the ball a bit, I'm sorry, but like if you're sitting like this, you can focus on moving up and tucking your bum underneath, and you still have that out of balance. You come back, up and back, so tuck. So the goal is when you're riding is to tuck your bum underneath, then you sit up tall and you're much more balanced as you ride, as opposed to what happens is we kind of sit like this, sit a little bit forward, and then you arch your back to get into that position. See the way it's much more flat back when you sit up like this? So it's another thing you can practice while you are at home. Like you can literally do this watching telly. These are the kind of things you can do, which is great about like a lot of the horse riding things that we can do to help strengthen ourselves, is you can do it at home. You don't have to go to the gym. If you have a fitball, or if you don't have a fitball, you can get one. They're, like I said, they're cheap enough. I think they cost about 25 quid if you don't have one. A lot of the stuff I use bands for, anything like that. I do specific programs for different issues people have. So if it is something you are looking for, do give me a message and I can see what I can do for you. And I know you're the only one here right now, but if you have any questions, do give me a shout, and then I will probably be logging off in 2 seconds. It's just a quick little run through, little demo on stuff we can do with our fitball, which is such a simple piece of equipment that a lot of people have. Okay, so looks like I'm going to be signing off now, I think. Alright, thanks for joining me there. And everyone who watches later, do give me a comment and let me know how you got on and how you found these exercises. And if you have any other questions, feel free to do a comment here or drop me a message. Thank you.